Hello and welcome back to Detective Anime, the anime channel that breaks down your favorite episodes to find 5 things you might have missed. It looks like things are finally heating up in ReZero after a slow start to the season, as Emilia successfully overcame the first of 3 trials and is one step closer to freeing the sanctuary. Meanwhile, on the other side, Subaru and the gang finally learned the true nature of the sanctuary, but it looks like the viewers will need to wait a little longer to have the same privilege. Nevertheless, an episode that pushed the story forward to a whole new world. One where we hope that Subaru comes out with his best girl and doesn't get eaten by a mountain of furries. While we wait to see what happens next, we're here to show you 5 things you might have missed from ReZero episode 44. Number 1. The Witch's Daughter. But which one? When Emilia was stuttering around Pandora due to being worried about Mother Fortuna and Betelguise, Pandora said that if she is worried about those two, then she ensures that both of them would be fine, and that there's nothing to be worried about, as long as she gets what she wants. What catches our eye is that she mentions Mother Fortuna as Emilia's mother throughout the conversation, until she's told by Fortuna herself that Emilia was her brother's child, to which the Witch of Vanity responds, "Ah, her. Please forgive me then." This might not seem like much, as Pandora could have genuinely believed that Mother Fortuna was the actual mother of Emilia, but the confusing aspect is that she already called Emilia the Witch's Daughter. We don't think Pandora meant that literally, but maybe it was a reference to a more metaphorical relationship between Emilia and one of the many different witches. If she's not Satella's daughter, then could she be someone else's? Number 2. Did Emilia really freeze everything? We have been constantly forced into this narrative that it was Emilia who couldn't control her powers, and ended up freezing everything and everyone around. But what if this was actually Pandora who forced Emilia to do that? Emilia's rage was quite self-explanatory, and she wanted to kill the person responsible for the death of the only family she had ever known. But we haven't seen power of that level from Emilia even when she has been forced into life and death situations before. What if Emilia isn't even capable of doing what she did to Ellie or Forrest? If we look at the words of Pandora when Emilia was in her state of agony, everything was happening as soon as she was saying it. One thing that really caught our eyes was when Pandora said, "Your power will envelop the forest with frozen soil that will never thaw," thus causing the forest within seconds to be covered in ice. As we've seen, Teppei Nagatsuki loves to play with little details. And our theory is that the quiet narration by the Witch of Vanity wasn't just for show. Maybe it was her power all along. Stick around for number 5 to see another clue that may prove our theory. Number 3. The Witches and a Reunion? Emilia is done with the first trial after learning and coming to terms with what happened in her past. After completing the trial, Echidna said that this was supposed to be the most difficult challenge for her, and she should be able to breeze past the remaining 2 trials. But honestly, one can't really trust the Witch of Greed considering, well, that she's greedy. And it's clear she's not the biggest fan of Emilia. So what does she have in store? Maybe things will get interesting if she ends up meeting the other witches like Subaru did. When it was Subaru attempting the second trial, he was shown scenes from his past in the continuous death loops. He was so mentally exhausted, but came across Rem, who comforted him, who was in fact Carmilla, the Witch of Lust in disguise. Subaru eventually figured out everything happening and passed the trial, so who's to say Echidna won't do the same with Emilia and Mother Fortuna? Number 4. Oh no, the Great Rabbit again. We're sure we're not the only ones that get incredibly excited to see a new opening, and after weeks of waiting, we took the chance to watch the video as many times as possible. The scariest piece of the opening puzzle appears right in front of us when we see the Great Rabbit make its ugly reappearance. It's certain that the beast created by Daphne, the Witch of Gluttony, will soon be making a comeback, and Subaru still doesn't have any concrete plans to deal with it. Here's praying for Subaru if he ever has to go through that horrible experience again. Or if we have to watch it. Ugh. Number 5. Pandora's Secret Powers? Betelgeuse and the Power of Love. In the current timeline, Betelgeuse before his death was an absolute madman obsessed with the Witch of Envy, Satella. But there is clearly no mention of him being anywhere close to Satella in the memories of Emilia. At the end of the flashback, Pandora whispered something in the ear of Betelgeuse, and he got up to follow Pandora while laughing. It's clear that the Archbishop of Sloth lost his mind after being tricked into killing Mother Fortuna. But what if Pandora used the opportunity to rewrite his love and pain to someone else? We've seen the Witch of Vanity pull out many tricks before, and this might just be another one of her heinous acts. After seeing the horrors that Subaru faced in his second trial, we can't help but worry about Emilia's well-being in her upcoming challenges. It'll be a tough wait. But until then, we'd appreciate it if you tossed a like, subscribe, and enjoy any of our other videos on the 5 things you've missed from your favorite anime.